G'day everyone. So today we're doing a quick video on some pork spare ribs, more specifically cut into St. Louis style ribs. So let's get to it and start off by cutting the bags open and disposing this lovely meat. Alright, very simply, start with the one rack. Got a big cook up tonight. So, on the back of the ribs, you've got a membrane there, also known as silver skin. Personal preference, I prefer to take the membrane off to allow seasoning to adhere properly and penetrate the meat. So simply done, all you need to do is grab, if you've got a meat hook or something, you can use that. Just grab our buttering knife, very simply, just get under the bone, under the silver skin, pry it up a little bit, and if you're lucky, you should be able to pull it up. May need to get yourself some paper towel just to help grip. Grip the silver skin. If you are lucky, you should be able to pull the whole thing off cleanly, all in one go. So I was lucky enough that time. Sometimes I'm not lucky and I've got to pull it off in multiple little pieces, like, oh, there's a little bit there. So now we've got a nice clean back of the rib where we can start going ahead and seasoning it up. Simply, we are using Lane's White Magic. I'm going to do some with, so all of them are going to get coated with White Magic. Some are going to get coated with hog dust, and some are going to get coated with magic dust. So, you really want to get fussy, you can go through and you can trim off any of the extra really thin pieces. This bit right here is quite thin. So I'm going to quickly just snip through that one. Any daggy edges or any excess fat anywhere. No, it's all looking pretty good. So, let's get to putting some seasoning on. So I'm going to start off with some White Magic. Just give that a nice dusting along. Just flipping her over, getting the underside. Patting it in, not rubbing it in, patting it in. I prefer not to use binders because the meat itself, with the salt and everything that's in it, will draw out moisture and it will create its own binder. There is some cases where I would use a binder, which would be, for instance, if I left it dry brining in the fridge for a couple of days, the skin dries out a lot, so then I would probably use a binder then. But for fresh out of the bag, I don't use a binder. I just let all the meat juices that are already on the meat do that job. So we're going to start off with the chook dust. So we're going to do a little light coating of this one. Just break it up. It's such a new bottle, so it's still pretty full. I'm just going to give it a nice dusting along, give it a good pat in. You'll see it starts creating a nice dark color as it starts sweating in. Flip her over, give her another dusting on the inside. And that a nice pat in too. If you don't see it changing color straight away, just let it sit and let the juices of the meat, like this part here, hasn't got a lot of moisture on the inside. So if you give it a minute, it'll draw some moisture out and it'll start saturating that seasoning and it'll create it, allow it to hold. So I'm going to do the same thing to the rest of these ribs, and I'm going to chuck them in the fridge because I'm not doing the cook for a couple more hours when I start it. So I'll bring these back in once I have started to do the cook. Okay guys, it's been a couple hours now and I'm ready to start the cook up. So I've got the smoker set to 110 degrees Celsius, which is about 220-ish Fahrenheit. So getting ready to put these ribs in. They are looking really good. So let's get these bad boys in the smoker. I'm running apple wood as the wood of choice. And simply, we're just going to plate them into the smoker on the top rack here, and if I can fit them all on top, just slightly push them all together. Fortunately, I'm not going to be able to fit everyone on the top. Alright. Just one here on the bottom. And then I've also got some of the offcuts here. Rather than letting them go to waste, I'm not doing any sausages or anything yet, so I'm not using the trim for anything else. So for now, just going to chuck those in there, and that can just be a part-way snack for me. So I'm going to close that up. Give it probably about probably give it an hour and a half, come back, see how it's all looking, see how the bark's developing, and then we'll probably give it a bit of a spray, start keeping all that moisture going, give it a bit of a baste, and yeah, go from there. All right, guys, we are back. It's been about an hour and a half since last update was done. So we are just about to spritz the ribs with a 50-50 mix of apple cider vinegar and water. So let's see how these guys are going. So it looks like the ribs are, the bark on them starting to look like it's holding the rub on well. So here we go, just going to give it a quick spritz, just a light spritzing just to stop them from drying out. I've also put in a pot of water just to help keep a little bit of moisture in the smoker itself. Give my little snacks, little spritz too. and we'll close her up and check it every half an hour to 40 minutes until it's time to wrap. All right, we're back again. We're just doing a quick update. So the ribs are looking quite good. We'll just do another spritz real quick. So we are currently at the 4-hour mark. So I'll give it all a good spritz again. Okay. And I'm also going to up the temp to 135 or 275 Fahrenheit in the hopes that I can try and get some more fat rendering and some more pullback on the bones. So I will be back once we've gone for about an hour of that, and we'll be back for wrapping of the meat. All right, so it's been about an hour since I bumped it up to 135, and I've sprayed them in every half an hour in between. So it's time to take them off, and today we're going to do some foil wrapping. I normally would go for a butcher's paper wrap, but we want more of a fall off the bone kind of rib. So I'm just going to get those out now. First, we're just going to get some foil laid out. Okay. Then this is something I don't normally do either. I would normally go for a pork lard, put in the smoker as well, but I'm going to try something a little bit different this time. I'm going to go for a bit of brown sugar. All right, so let's grab some butter. We'll chuck a few little slices of butter on it. A couple slices like that. We'll just grab the meat. So as you might be able to see there, we've got a bit of bone pulled back, but she's looking pretty good. Fat's rendered down pretty well. So what we're going to do, we're going to go meat side down. All right. And we want a relatively tight wrap. We do want a tight wrap. You just don't want to be too tight that you're going to start puncturing through your foil. You have to double wrap it, go for it. All you want to do is make sure that you aren't going to lose all the juices of your foil in your foil. So I've got no bones poking out. So we're going to stick that back in the smoker for about another half an hour to an hour until the meat is probe tender. So I'll whack that back on the top shelf. And we'll run it at the same temp until it is time to take off. I will wrap all these, and once we've done that half an hour ready to unwrap and glaze, we'll be right back. All right, we're back. It's been about 45 minutes since we put the wrap on and everything. So I've just temp probed them, and they're sitting at 97 degrees, which is roughly where it should be to be nice and probe tender. They felt nice and smooth on the way. So let me grab one of these out. All right, let's peel this bad boy open. Hot, careful. All right. Just going to flip it over. Some nice sticky ribs, feeling nice and tender. Get probe out and I'll show you how tender they are. And also get the temp for you too. Going through like butter. And we got 97.5. So those bones should just about be ready to pop right out. But we're not finished there. We are going to glaze these ones and stick them back in the smoker. But you do not have to do this step. If you want, you can let them rest for about 20 so minutes and then carve up and eat away. But I'm going to this extra step of putting the glaze on them. So all I've got here is just my favourite barbecue sauce with a bit of apple cider vinegar just to thin it out a little bit. And we're just going to brush it over. Getting a nice coating of your sauce on it. Flipping it over. And going again. Yeah, good coating on there. Get those nice sticky ribs. And simply just back into the smoker they go. All right, I'm going to go and I'm going to unwrap every one of them and get them all glazed up, and I will get back to you with the finished product at the end. So ribs are done. They've been glazed in the smoker for about 20 minutes, 30 minutes now, and they've been sitting out here resting for about 15. So if I bring these closer, you can see they've got a nice tacky sauce on the outside. Alrighty. Let's quickly cut into one and see how it goes, eh? This one broke apart while we were moving it around on the smoker. See that moisture in there? It's just pretty much ready to fall off. That's good. That's real good. You see. Nice clean bone there. That is a good rib. That is a very, very good rib. Well guys, if this video helped you at all, then like, comment, subscribe, and you'll see me in a future video. Peace.